Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Friends of Mortgage Heroes. I'm Andy.
I'm Will.
And today we have Joahna Flores with us.
That's not my sister, by the way.
Well, Joahna, thank you for being here with us today. We're really excited to talk to you. I know you do something that is familiar, but also a little bit different in some of the nuanced parts of your business. And so Will and I were talking about this, and I know we're going to have a really great show. But before we jump into a bunch of questions, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're currently doing in the business, and what's keeping you busy right now?
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. About myself. Do you want me to really dive deep into
Yeah,
it?
please do. You know,
yeah.
military, you got out of the military, and you have a lot of great information to share with us.
Yeah. Okay, so Joahna Flores, I'm an immigrant from the Philippines. I was born and raised there. I got here when I was 23 years old.
Wow.
So
That's 2 years ago?
10 years
No.
ago.
Wow, there you go. We're just giving out the edge by life. Wow.
2.5.
Yeah, you know what I
You
mean?
know my age here. My God. But yeah, so I got here not intending to actually stay.
No.
God.
It was intending to just stay for 2 months and then go back to the Philippines. And then midway through the 2 months, I got a call I got notice from my employer back home that I was being laid off. So I was like, oh my gosh.
Wait,
what?
like an email? You got like a letter in the mail? What do you mean?
Actually, Facebook Messenger?
Wait, what? Okay, that's another show first. I got fired on Facebook Messenger. Okay, wait, go tell that story. Hold on.
Oh, no. So I was working for a senator in the Philippines.
Okay.
Whoa.
And they were downsizing their staff. And one of the, my supervisor told me, hey, you're one of the people, like they're downsizing, you're one of the people that's being let go, and these are the other people that are. So, yeah, that
Wow.
was it. It was a shocker. And so I was like, I don't have any job to go back to. I have a land, so I bought a land there
Okay.
Okay.
that I was trying to pay for. Like, how am I going to pay for that? And then also a car. How am I going to pay for that? I do have my family to go back to, of course, but I don't know. I was like, let me try my luck here in America.
Wow.
So that's what happened. Like, I didn't have any farewell party going here.
Wait, hold on. You're saying
That's
that
pretty cool.
The Facebook Messenger message didn't include an invite to
No.
a farewell party? What do you mean?
That's crazy.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that's a great attitude still. You know, I'm fired. I'd be like all bummed out, right? But look at her. She's going.
But here's what I'm already learning. I'm so sorry. I'm going to make a really quick pit stop. There are so many success stories that have a moment like this.
Yes.
Where like this thing unexpected happened. I had a decision to make, and I was like, I'm going to see if I can make it here. Like, how many times we hear that? And we hear it because we watch these other YouTube videos and we see people like, oh, success and da-da-da. This is like right in front of us.
Raw.
This is awesome. I'm
This
so
is
glad
raw.
that you said that. So
Yeah. I'm
I'm not going to jump to conclusion and say that was a pivotal point, but it sounds like you're leading us down that road.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I was like, I'll try my luck here. So I was looking for employers who would sponsor me. So I found one. And then my then boyfriend, we ended up marrying. So
Nice.
So that what's made it easier for me to stay here.
Oh, okay.
And then we got a daughter. And so I was like, oh my gosh, another responsibility. How am I gonna do this? So that's why I looked into going into the military.
Wow.
Looked at all the benefits that the military gives here, and also when you get to the military, they help you with like citizenship and all that. So
What branch were you in?
I was in the Navy.
You were in the Navy. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. And then how many times did you serve? Jeez. How many years did you serve?
So I served for 5 years.
Okay, great. Awesome.
Thank you for your service,
thank
by
you.
the way.
Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah, so I got into the military, and when I got into military, I picked a job that was totally different from what I'm used to. I was like, I've been always doing desk jobs. I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick. That was an option for me to be a logistics specialist or an aviation mechanic. Instead of going the desk job route, I went like, I'm already doing military. Let me go all out.
Oh, wow.
I did the mechanic job.
Oh, I didn't know that part. You did aviation mechanics?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
That's amazing. Okay, so
Yeah.
what kind of planes were you working on? Or is it helicopters
Helicopter
or helicopters? Okay.
And jet engines.
And jet
Nice.
engines.
Yeah.
Oh
Whoa.
my gosh. Hey, I got my oil change the other day.
Yeah.
Is that impressive?
Sure.
That's pretty wild.
Not at all.
That's pretty
That's
wild.
amazing.
Yeah.
So what did you enjoy most about that? I mean, it's a far departure from what we're gonna get to. We're gonna get to what you're doing now, but that's a pretty far departure from what you're doing now.
Very.
Yeah.
So what was exciting and what did you learn about that you maybe have carried forward in your career?
Oh, that's a hard question.
Yeah.
Sorry. Want an easier one?
No, it's the mechanic job is very labor intensive. So it got very physically demanding for me. And so it was that's a very different from, just sitting or talking, doing paperwork. So I guess resilience. Like
That's a good word.
Yeah.
That's a great word.
So it's being so different from what I'm used to. And then doing 5 years of that, like I made it happen. So
Yeah, you did.
Wow.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did. That's an
something
Wow,
applause.
that's awesome.
That's a freaking applause right
so
there.
resiliency built through the challenges of being a mechanic.
Yeah.
But also, I have to guess because I don't know this firsthand. Admittedly, everyone in the comment box
Yeah.
is that's a very technically specific job, and there's a lot on the line for doing that.
Yeah.
Correct or incorrect? Is that
Correct.
overstated?
Yeah, it's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have the pilots, whoever is flying the plane, the co-pilots, and everything that's on the plane is on the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're responsible for it, whether that screw's too tight, too loose, or just right. Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Okay, I don't know that I want that
Whatever
responsibility.
yeah,
and all
that's-
we're doing is talking about it.
Yeah,
like, I
no.
haven't touched anything. I'm
I'm getting all sweaty
Do,
thinking about it.
I don't
Hearing
wanna
Jen
do
right
it.
now, I was like, oh, please don't come down now.
So you can you're not saying draw a straight line, but you can connect that that necessity to be resilient in that like mode into what you're doing now. And that kind of comes from that. But again, like I'm already picking this up from you. The same theme of like, hey, look, this situation changed my life, and I got fired by the senator in the Philippines, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go and get after it. Like,
Yeah.
I think that says a lot. I really do. I think that says a lot.
That's why that word is perfect. Resilience.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of heart. It takes a lot of encouragement to want to even do that. Because, you get fired, you feel like everything's coming down. You feel lost. Like, where do I go? And then you're thinking, oh, I'm getting in the military. I'm not going to pick a basic job. I'm going to go pick something that I'm don't even know.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness. So I'm
I don't know
lost
what's
again.
going on
Wow.
in my head right now.
Wow.
But
That's
it's okay.
amazing.
It's okay. And thank you for starting from the beginning. This is
Yeah.
exactly the information that we need to share to our audiences. Because everything's like, I'm always perfect. Oh, Will, you're always so happy. They don't understand. I have a lot of same issues that a normal person would have. Just like you got
Yeah.
fired. I mean, geez, I know I've gotten fired quite a bit, right?
We get fired
So,
multiple times per week.
multiple times per
by
week.
each other.
Yeah, exactly. So
And
no.
I feel like even the clients that you talk to now, you're basically being fired they're rejecting you.
That's it.
Or they're going with another agent.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there you go. So,
So-
please keep going. Yeah.
Tell us you separate. You were in the military, and then
yeah.
you
For
separated
5
from there.
years. Yeah, 5 years. I did one deployment, and then I got divorced and separated. Became a real estate agent. And got remarried. So basically,
Oh, wow.
that's it.
So,
Wow,
so
okay.
you were military the 5 years. Was it during you were practicing military? You were practicing real estate?
I was not practicing.
Okay.
So I was doing my courses like 6 months before
Okay.
getting out, and then when I got out, a few weeks after I got out, I took the exam.
Got
Oh,
it.
wow.
Look at
Wow.
you.
So you're
already-
you're ready. I remember earlier in one of our earlier episodes, Lloyd said something very similar. Like if you're in the military right now, you're active, and you want a career in real estate, whatever. Like start now. Do it while you're like looking down the horizon, or you're going to separate later, whatever.
Yeah.
Get started, and that's exactly what you did. That's pretty awesome. I
That's
like that.
crazy. So you got into what made you want to get into real estate?
So I don't really remember what exactly was the point.
Yeah.
But I think it was when I was financially really down. So I told
Okay.
you I got divorced.
Yeah.
I divorced my
Yeah.
ex-husband.
Yeah.
And so that's when my financial struggles happened. I was like, how can I make my life better?
Got it.
So I looked in YouTube, I guess.
Okay.
And then I found Bigger Pockets. So I don't know if I
I'm
found
a subscriber.
Shout out to Bigger Pockets. Wow,
go.
that's the first Bigger Pockets reference on
Yeah.
our show too. That's amazing.
Okay, so I found bigger it's either I found Bigger Pockets first or I found Rich Dad Poor Dad
Okay.
first.
Yeah.
So that's why I got into real estate, interested into real estate. But remember, I bought land in the
The
Philippines.
Philippines,
Yeah.
so you're already there.
So yeah, I know like there's a power to real estate.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so here, I didn't really, how do I say it? Oh, actually, sorry.
Yeah, no.
when I was still in the Navy, we actually bought a house here in Chula Vista.
Got it.
Yeah, so it was like it's not really my first time
Yeah.
getting into real estate, but being it as a profession, it's I went into it looking into investing.
Got
first.
it.
Oh,
And I
wow.
was like, I don't have the capital. I'm like financially low, so maybe real estate agent it can help me build my capital for the investing goal.
That's pretty cool. So I'm
that's
already thinking
smart.
of land
Yeah.
at a young age. You get fired. You don't know how you're going to pay for that land and that car payment, right? Fast forward, you get into the military, you get into a home. And I think that kind of sparks an interest already. So the interest was already there prior to.
Yes.
You know, and now just coming and seeing the opportunities that we do have here and we see how real estate is. And when you buy your home, you're saying you bought it here in Chula Vista in San Diego, one of the best. We're actually one of the most expensive cities now in the nation.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's
Right?
a
Crazy.
whole different.
Yeah. So, and then you have Bigger Pockets. Then you have Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, which that's what they say. Read that book. You know, if you're looking to invest, he's just going to help you understand the bigger picture on how to invest.
Bigger picture, yes.
Yeah. So that's pretty awesome. I mean, I've known you for, I want to say almost going to 5 years, and I see nothing but success for you. So all that stuff that you've talked about, I'm like, wait a minute, I never got that part of Joahna or had ever had a feel that you were going through these challenges, you know, because again, you make it look so easy. And I'm sure that that's what you did when you were doing those plane mechanic stuff, you know, made it look too damn easy.
Well, I wrote down here, you know, when you were talking about looking at real estate to, you know, overcome some like financial struggle. I mean, that's like it's starting to become like a theme now. Like it's the struggle and enduring through that struggle or trying to overcome that struggle is where the growth comes from. But that tenacity and that like resilience, it's like they're coupled, right? Well, I mean, is that too much for me to say, or is that kind of how you feel about it? They feel like they're partners in crime.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, resiliency and struggle. Okay. So for all those of you who are watching and you're like, oh, I want to be a realtor or in mortgage or I want to be in real estate investing, the struggle is real. There will be challenges. You're going to need resilience to get through it. You're going to get into it and through it and out of it. So, yeah.
So that's pretty cool. You get your first house now. You're in real estate. How long before you got your license after you got out of the military? Or did you have your license already?
Oh, after 2 weeks after.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, June 16th.
You didn't
That's
say
when I
like
got licensed.
half a year, 9 months, 2 weeks.
Dang.
2 weeks. Like it was already on the calendar. Wow.
She was already looking.
Yeah, it was already scheduled before I got out.
Look
is my
at
exam.
that.
And then
I love this. I love this.
Well, pat yourself on the back on that one. You know,
love
give
this.
yourself all the credit on that.
Yeah.
So, how long did it take you before you got like your first deal, your first transaction?
2 weeks. No, I'm
no,
just
not at all. It was hard.
Yeah.
It was eight months.
Okay. And how did you
Yeah.
do that? Like, how did you find that deal? Was it like friends? Because that's usually what they say, right? When you join the real estate, it's always your SOI, your sphere of influence.
Yeah. So it's not within my friend circle. The story was there's Facebook and there's a Facebook page that I'm part of that it was actually created by my previous first class. So
God.
my supervisor then. So it's called Filipino Sailors USA.
Wow.
And there are Filipinos there, sailors, and they just post, questions about the Navy, their career, and there are questions about finding a realtor.
In the area.
Yeah. So I reached out to him, my first client, and then, just build rapport from there and help them.
Yeah, of course. You're there. That's what we're there for. Just because we got out of the military doesn't mean we don't help them out anymore, right?
Yeah,
On the contrary, you almost feel more obligated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Exactly.
commitment, like out of duty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
It's definitely not obligation. It's out of, I know for us, it's a desire to help people who have earned the benefit of buying a home and using their VA benefit. It's for that because
It is, yeah.
I know for the 18 years since we've been in business, how handfuls of people have either been told something that was incorrect altogether about VA benefit or partially true, and that has led them to make a choice that kept them out of buying a home. And then you talk to them and you clear the air and all the fog and you go, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. I could have been doing this the whole time. Yes, you could have been doing this the whole time. So I think clearing some of those myths, there's a
course.
sense of duty in that, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what was a question that he got right there? So you found that your first client through a Facebook group. What was a question or?
I think it was just looking for a realtor, blah, blah, blah.
Nice. And you're like, oh, how to reply back to this, right? But you did it.
Yeah.
Because you're resilient, and so you're fearless. You just go into it.
I DM'd him, and then it was that. But I forgot what you were saying earlier. I'm so sorry.
No worries. What was the biggest reward? Like, let's just fast forward that real quick. So you get this fellow comrade. He's also probably Navy, right?
Yeah.
You've helped him get into his property. Was he PCSing from another state here? What was do you remember the?
Oh no, he's a not active reserves.
Okay,
So he's in
reserves.
Okay.
But with reserves as well, they have the VA loan benefit.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
Yeah, and usually they have to serve a certain amount of time, right?
it's actually our client.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Yeah. So
That's awesome. But
that's my first.
yeah. Wow.
First
That's pretty.
ever.
That's pretty cool. How rewarding did that feel, Joanna?
It was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like even not even more so for the client, like the desire to help them, because they're a family of 5, they have 3 kids, and helping them have a home, it was really nice. And then for myself, I was like, all this hard work for 8 months, finally,
Wow.
there's a fruit.
Dang,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. So, what do you find that you're like after closing that? Obviously, I already know you wear your heart on your sleeve. I know how passionate you get about it. So, and that's what I love working with you because I think we're very similar in that aspect. We take everything very personally, helping them, making sure that we're guiding them through the right process, putting them in the right place, etc. What do you find most rewarding in helping a client?
What I find most rewarding is like the smiles and
Yeah.
the smiles on their faces, and that they have achieved something, and their achievement feels like my achievement too.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's great.
No, it's cool because it's true. I mean, the smile, you're probably the second person to hear that because I always
Yeah.
use that. Like, when I see them smile, you can already tell something about a certain smile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Like-
it's because what's behind it, right? You
Correct.
know what this is meaningful to people.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's how for how many decades have we heard or been told that the American dream is home ownership, right? And then when you can play a part in somebody's dream being fulfilled and they reach that milestone and you give them the keys and they get to walk into their own house, like
Yeah.
how many like new key videos do we make or do or see that we're
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, these people are literally walking into the dream they've been planning for, hoping for, praying about for ever. And then
Yeah.
the smile. And you
Yeah.
you get to see that like gratification of their accomplishment that you were a part of.
Yeah, that's why I like working with first-time home buyers.
Yeah.
That's
Because
so
not
awesome.
only the smiles and their feeling of accomplishment when they get in there, it's like educating them through the process as well. Because when we got the house in Chula Vista, I know the process, but it was so like unorganized. Like I was just going through it step by step by step. So like with my clients, I want to sit down with them and do like let them know in detail how the home buying process will go so that they're educated and then they know what to expect. And then when that happens, oh, remember I told you in the beginning this is going to happen. And then, just expound there.
Yeah.
If there's anything
Yeah.
that happens throughout the process, then I'm just going to explain to them more in more in detail.
Yeah.
In more detail, yeah. No, that's awesome because I mean, it seems to me, or it's probably very obvious on camera too, is that you really are compassionate towards what they want. And I think that goes way beyond like, oh, well, here's steps 1 through 12, and once we're done with 3, we'll go to 4. Once we go to 4, we'll go to 5. You're like, I'm going to help you experience this in a awesome way as well, not just check the box and move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Is that a pretty accurate description? I know you probably won't say that about yourself from a humble position.
She's too humble.
I was gonna, I'm already picking up on that. And I was like, okay, she's probably not gonna say that, but it seems like that is your pacing with people.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's one of the things I see from you. I've had the privilege of working with you, and you have this humble hat on you. Sometimes we got to just take it off, okay? So, and there's no problem with that because it's not bragging. It's you're actually creating the action behind it. So you are good. So tell me, we already know. I can tell you're already passionate about that. You're just sharing that you like to educate people. You like to get them in there, and you help them visualize themselves already being in there, which is awesome. And not a lot of people do that. A lot of people just, hey, you're just another number. Let me get you in your home, and that's it. And I'm done. I get a permission, and that's it. But that's not at all what your clients say about you. And that's what I've noticed. And that's what I talked to because we've been working again together for quite a while. I really believe that those are one of their strengths, one of the things that make you very successful in what you're doing, So moving forward, what do you think, what are some of the new things that you're probably going to apply into your business moving forward, pivoting that we're having a shortage crisis of homes here? Real estate is not easy right now. It's pretty difficult, not just for realtors. It's also difficult for loan officers, et cetera. It's just stuff that's happening, especially with inflation and everything. But where do you think the market's going?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. That's a good question. So there's still a shortage, like you said. So I think it's, even if the interest rates go down, if there's still, I'm sorry about that.
It's okay.
That's all right.
No worries.
Hey, guess what? First live call on the show.
Let's take it.
New
Let's take
deal.
it. Who is it?
You know what's awesome about this? When she was like, oh, I took my test 2 weeks after.
Yeah.
You're like, the market's tough. Ring, ring, ring.
Ring, ring. Let's go.
I love it. We are leaving this in the show.
Yeah.
We're 100% leaving this in the show.
Oh, this is great. This is great.
Go ahead.
This is what's good about this is it's all raw, right?
love
We're
it.
not practicing. We don't have teleprompters or anything. So that's
This
cool.
is great.
We didn't answer that. Why?
Yeah, hold on.
It says potential spam.
Oh,
Oh, darn it.
we'll put you on the do
We
not
got to
call
change
list.
that. It's a potential sale.
Yeah.
A potential
Right?
sale,
That's a
right?
good one.
We need to make that up. Go ahead.
So yeah, we're having a shortage crisis, etc. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be stable. I know people are expecting a crash, but if there's no inventory out there and the interest rates go down, it's still gonna be competitive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm 100% of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so what I'm doing with my real estate business is just putting myself out there more, social media, and like calling around, even cold calling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because before my first 3 years, I didn't really have a mentor in real estate. I know. I remember the podcast with Lloyd.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, he has a mentor. He put himself in like a good network, a good group. I didn't have that.
Yeah.
And so I just started doing that like recently, and doing full time. And then what I got from them is you gotta put yourself out there, be
Yeah.
more proactive rather than
Yeah.
just passive.
Especially right now where everybody's like scared over the rates.
Yeah.
There's going to be a market crash. It's going to be all this. So, which leads me to the next question. If you have a fellow comrade that's looking into joining real estate, what would be some of the advice you'd give them?
Oh, so
Right?
being a real estate agent, you gotta really have I think a high EQ,
Okay.
not IQ, EQ
Okay.
for this. Like it's not even because you got different transactions every time.
Yeah.
It's not always the same, but it's not even that. It's the different personalities that you deal with every day, every single transaction, and like if there's a bad news that happen or that you have to tell your client, like it's a lot of roller coaster of emotions. You got to be ready for that, and I guess resiliency as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So if you lose a deal,
And tough skin.
Yeah, tough skin.
Yeah, I think you're referring to, like, you have to have a wide range, the ability to deal with a wide range and variety of emotional responses people could have to information, good and bad. And, again, referencing, we were talking to Lloyd on that episode, that was episode number 2, is, when even when there's bad information, it needs to be shared.
Yeah.
Because even if it is negative, or maybe it's not the news you wanted to have, like, you got to say it. Like, it's your duty and your commitment as realtor, as loan officer, as a professional helping someone with their aspirations. You have to say what's going on. Yeah. I mean, could you have maybe made shortcuts when you're a mechanic? No, because there's something on the line, right? And so, again, drawing another parallel, it matters. Yeah. The details matter. The specifics matter because it changes how that transaction needs to go or whatever. But being readily available to and being aware that this could have a number of different reactions and responses, and I need to be able to meet the people where they're at.
Yeah.
How easy, Joahna, is it to share bad news when things are going sideways?
Not at all easy.
Well, give us an example of a way you've had to share bad news. Like, and again, this isn't because, Joahna has bad news to share.
Yeah.
No, stuff happens.
It happens.
There's stuff that happens in every single transaction that the loan officer didn't expect, the appraiser didn't know about, the realtor didn't know, and it just comes up. So what is a way you address, that you've handled having to address negative news?
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't think of like a specific scenario right now.
Yeah.
But what I remember was talking to my husband and, like, going through the bad news with him first. And then he's like, maybe you should do it like this. He helps me. He helps me. Yeah. And
That's
then,
good.
Like, with my feelings, it's bad news for my client, of course, but it's like I don't know how to say.
No, you're doing just fine. Trust me.
Yeah, but he's like my
soundboard.
Soundboard. Yeah, and then he just makes me feel more comfortable. Hey, you really gotta say this. So yeah.
Hard news is hard to deliver any time, but you know what? The truth will set you apart. And that's what a lot of people hide in this industry. I know when I first started, I didn't know how to deliver bad news. And that's why I asked you, because I'd be lost. Andy, I would be like, I don't want to say anything. I just would carry it to the end of the day. And then, but there goes your reputation.
Yeah.
Right.
So for me now, I'm one of those that if you're open and communicative during the transaction and you set the expectation in the beginning, like you also do, I think it's easier for you to deliver that bad news.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think it also comes with a level of maturity too. I mean, you being able to not just only to deliver the news, but doing it in a way that's considerate. Like, hey, look, this is not going the way either of us expected.
Yeah.
I did not expect this, and now that we have this upon us, how do we come alongside each other and go at this thing? Yeah. And I think that's where sometimes, and look, I am gonna point the finger at, like, television at this one. Because sometimes these shows that consolidate a 30-day transaction or a 21-day transaction into a 30-minute television show, it gives the impression that there's never any issues, there's no speed bumps, there's no blah, blah, blah. It's not like that. You gotta confront stuff. And I think that that's something everyone should realize. There is no perfect escrow. I've not talked to a single person in 18 years. I've had the most perfect escrow. There are no issues anytime ever. Like, okay,
it happens.
Okay, then maybe you've done 0 deals.
Yeah.
maybe what's really going on is you've never closed a transaction, and that's why they've had nothing but perfect transactions.
Exactly. Well, now we know how to deal with the problems. What's one of the most memorable transactions that you close and you're like, dang it, this is why I do what I do?
I guess it's when my client she said that their family is poor. I don't know what her meaning of it is.
Yeah.
But when she got into her first home, she was so happy. Like she cannot express how happy she was. So that was really nice.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Was she the first one in her family line to buy a house?
I believe so, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that story happens a lot too. That we see that a lot with people. Like, the first one in my family to buy. I'm the third generation here or second generation here. First one to buy house. First one to go to college. First one to buy house. First one to serve the military. And like those are milestones.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that you would say that's the most gratifying thing that checks.
That's pretty cool. I mean, how good did that make you feel, and how energized does that give you, right?
Yeah.
It actually encourages you, like, I got to do more of this.
Yes.
And how do I do more of this?
Well, and I know part of this conversation today is like there is more that you do in real estate too.
Yes.
So let's talk more. Let's talk some more. Let's get out of just the transactional part. Like talk to us and the audience more about what is it that you do outside of just representing people with buying and selling a house.
Oh, like my hobbies?
Yeah,
Or
like
what?
yeah. What else do you do in and around real estate? You invest in real estate too,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So let's talk about some of that a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, tell us a bit like your kind of in investor bio, if you will, and let's talk a little bit about that. I got some questions for you.
So I'm not doing so actively as much as I want to, but right now we do have a triplex and a single family home that we're renting out room per room.
Yeah.
So and then I did a fix and flip one time.
That's the stuff.
Yeah,
So we're going to go into all this. So you have a triplex, a single family that you rent room for room, and you did a flip. So let's talk about the triplex real quick first, because people hear about this and not a lot of people know about it. So maybe give us some details. Tell us the story of that transaction. Were you looking for a 3-unit, or did it just kind of fall in your lap? Tell us how you got to that.
Oh, so it's actually for my husband now.
Yeah.
We closed the transaction with Will.
That's my brother. That's how we're not related like that. That's my brother's Flores.
Yeah.
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 So, how do we? So before, sorry.
No worries.
Real estate investing, right? I looked into bigger pockets, and I was like looking into what type of residence we're gonna go for, and the multifamily property, like, makes more sense for us because VA loan, it allows for multifamily property. So we used his VA loan. My husband is also was active military then, and so we used his VA loan to buy that triplex.
Awesome. Okay, so and some people that might be watching this don't know that, but you can use your VA loan for multi-unit properties up to 4 units.
Yeah.
And so
What
in this
year
case,
was that? What was 18? Was it 19?
No, 2021.
21. Oh my God. It was after COVID. Golly, that was a good. Yeah, that's true. Wow, time. Yeah,
Time.
I think.
not as much time passed as you thought, but some time passed still.
But no, you're absolutely right. Yeah, 3 units. I thought, I don't know, for some reason there was a county loan limit at that time, but obviously that was removed back in 2020. So 3 units, that's great. So I'm glad that you listened to Bigger Pockets.
Yeah.
Because now you got 3 doors.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And now that 3 doors is like making us like almost 1,500.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Okay.
Because we renovate. So the income that I get from my real estate business, we used it for for the renovation of the triplex.
Okay, got it.
And that's why.
So you self-funded the renovation, and then you're netting about $1,500 a month.
Nice.
That's awesome.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Wow, that's really good. That's really good.
Yeah.
Hello, and it's appreciating. So you're win-win.
It's
Win.
a
Win.
smooth $18,000 a year right there. Awesome, good for you. And then you say you have a single-family residence as well that you also rent, but you rent that room by room. Is that like on year contract, 6 months? You do month by month with people. How do you handle that one? As an investor, how do you look at that and go, "This is the way I'm choosing to do it, A versus B"? Talk me through that a little bit.
Yeah. So single-family residence, instead of renting out the whole house, it's not gonna cover the mortgage. So that's why we're doing room for rent.
Got it.
So it's close to a naval base as well. So we know how it is with Navy people. Like sometimes bachelors, they rank up and they get their BAH, and so they just want to save a lot of money, rent our room.
Yeah,
yeah,
that makes sense.
That's so smart.
Yeah.
Yep.
Instead of spending the full BAH for
In military housing.
Yeah. So that's our goal. Our preference were military sailors to do the room for rent.
Yeah.
But then we opened it up for other, civilians as well.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty cool.
Then is it 3 or 4 bedrooms? How many?
It's 4 bedrooms.
It's 4.
Wow.
So
Hey, Memo. Next time Joahna comes, she's buying lunch. Okay.
Yeah. It's on her.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. But I'm glad you made the point about the BAH because most people know this, but if you're going to spend your whole BAH on military housing, they're just take the whole thing penny for penny. But you might actually be able to rent a room at a property like the one she's describing for less than your BAH and keep the difference for yourself to use for your general expenses or to save money to buy your own home, whatever that might be for yourself as an active duty member.
The other thing, Andy, that the misconception with a lot of people too is when they use their VA, they think that I can't rent it out. I have to stay living there. Well, and that's not true, right?
That's not true.
Right. That's not true at all. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's single family residence, and that's my VA loan that I used for that one.
Nice. Yeah. So your husband used for the triplex, you used yours for this house, and now you're in San Diego. So it's like those properties are being rented. It actually helps you pay some of your payment here too, right? In San Diego.
That's why she has money to bring lunch next time, man. Yeah. She's got extra cash.
So with your VA, you being working in the military, now being a realtor, what are some of the biggest myths that you see, that you heard prior to having your license that you felt like, well, I can't use my VA, because I think this is happening?
Oh, yeah. So, biggest misconception is that it's zero down payment. There's nothing out of pocket.
Means zero closing costs? Not true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not true. So they come to me and they're like, oh, I want to use my VA loan, but then they have zero in savings. So that's when I educate them, build up your savings first, and so you're very ready when the time comes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then another myth that I can think of is, I just lost
It's
my
okay.
train
No
of
worries.
thought. Sorry.
Let me go to that one. How much do you, I don't want to say hate, but bothers you that they say no money down, right? Because commercials show that. Right. But it's not until you call them and you're telling them, hey, I want a VA loan, that they'll tell you this information. But they're putting it costs you no money to get into her home. Does that bug you at all?
Yeah, well.
Because it's like you almost feel like when you tell the client, like, hey, oh, no, you're going to need to pay your closing costs. Well, wait a minute. The commercial said that I didn't have to.
Yeah.
But it's not what it's saying at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like.
I just got to tell them, it's really not how it is. You really need closing costs for.
Yeah.
I mean, closing costs, as we know, is negotiable. But then you really want to be ready when you're in your system.
The other misconception is with closing costs is that you could actually finance it into your loan. That's a myth. Can't do that. You gotta.
Oh, that's a yes.
Right. That's the biggest one.
They got to get paid either by you or by seller concessions. Somehow they're getting paid.
Yeah. One of the other things because obviously we work with a lot of military, Joahna. One of the biggest things is like Lloyd mentioned, after serving 32 years, one of his biggest mistakes was, I should have purchased a home everywhere I PCS'd.
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know a few people who's done that.
Yeah.
And sometimes they keep the one they have in, from the state that they came from, or sometimes they sold it and then bought here.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
And again, misconception, another one, that you could only have one outstanding VA loan.
Right. Yeah.
It's
and
like,
we've heard that for so many times. Oh, I already used my VA, so I can't use it again. Time out. What do you mean you can't use it again?
Yeah.
There's such a thing as subsequent use for a reason, and that is exactly what it's for.
Exactly. I mean, I'm just glad that we're talking about all these. We got a triplex that's being rented, single family being rented, each room. I mean, this is great information to give a person, to help them create some resiliency. I get fired from the Senate. I have a piece of land in the Philippines. I can't build that. I'm going to go ahead and not work in the desk job. I'm going to go freaking help these planes out. Hopefully they don't fall down from the sky. And then, you know what? I'm thinking of getting out. I'm going to go get my life. Like, golly, Joahna, that is resiliency at its best.
Wow.
My land in the Philippines, when before I joined in the Navy, I actually sold that and profited like $11,000.
Oh, wow. In the Philippines.
Okay.
Look at that.
Oh, wow. Okay, so here's...
from there, I was already investing.
Yeah.
So here's our show title. I'm going to tell everybody this. You're already going to see it on the show title. I'm going to tell you right now, Joahna, when this episode airs, it's going to be called From Facebook Fire to Financially Free.
Yeah.
There it is. That's it.
That's a good caption.
So it's going to be a great soundbite. But Joahna, I want to before we land the plane and close out the show, I want to come back to the thing you mentioned also in this investor part of you is the flip. You said you did a flip. So tell us about that. How did you find the home? What did you do to the house? What did you learn about it? What were some things you maybe enjoyed, maybe didn't enjoy? Tell us about that experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how I found it was just going through the MLS, and it was when I was actively searching, because I feel like how you're gonna be successful is being active on it. It's not just deals fall on your lap. People are lucky when it happens. Pero it's very rare. But I said pero.
Yeah.
But it's very rare.
Yeah.
So when I was actively looking, I really saw this, and then I thought it was a good opportunity. And how we funded it was through a hard money loan. And I also had, from my real estate business, my income, I had some money set aside really to do a flip.
Yeah.
So, I used that for the down payment with a hard money lender.
Now, some people think, it's so easy to flip a house because you're just buying it and reselling it, right? Because the term flip makes you say, I'm just going to buy it one day and I'm going to sell it the next. But it's not always like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Joahna, how much experience did you have before getting into that?
Oh, 0.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Exactly.
Great lead-in question. Great answer, because that's exactly where everyone starts, with no experience. And then, but you can do it. You can do it if you have some resiliency.
Again,
and you can put your brain and your experience to work.
Again, Andy, Joahna, this is why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Because we're all doing things at a first time. And yet it looks to outside when we put these in social media, it's like, it's because they've been doing it a lot. Or they have all the guidance, right?
Yeah.
So you have zero experience on this. When you went into it, you went with zero experience of writing your checklist of what you're going to do to the property, right? So run us by that.
Oh, so actually that's one of my, I wish I have done it better, is to be more organized and have actually somebody who's done it to
walk you through it.
Yeah, walk me through it. Because what happened was I don't know if it was true, but it was when pandemic. So that was 20. But anyway, the contractor said that it was because of the pandemic. That's why the materials were getting delayed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yes, I gave them a benefit of the doubt. But I wish I had somebody there to go through everything with me. Like, I wish I would have sold it sooner or something like that. Or,
Okay.
Find a contractor that could actually finish it faster. Yeah.
Perfect.
So,
that's all great information, right?
Yeah.
Because those are the facts. Usually the person that you have right there could either make you or break you, And in your case, because you were so active, it didn't break you. And because of the way the market was, it couldn't break you. So it was a good learning experience. But you took that
good learning experience, yeah.
Yeah, you took that leap of faith and you got it done. You just didn't, again, let me go back to Facebook, right?
I love everything that I've learned in this episode already. You're like, I've never done, I'm supposed to be here in the States for like a couple months. Oh, no, now I'm here permanently. Oh, I'm just going to get in real estate. Oh, I'm just going to close a deal. Oh, I'm just going to buy a triplex. Oh, I'm just going to have a rental home. Oh, I'm just going to flip it. Okay, I get it.
I'm going to rent.
So what are you going to try next? Hold on, that's a question. What are you going to do next, Joahna, that we don't know about
what's next?
Break some news with us. Do you have a big plan for real estate this year? Something you want to do that you haven't done yet? Obviously, you like doing that.
I haven't done yet. Well,
it's like 400 unit hotel.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Don't be surprised.
Well, Will is doing ADU, so I actually want to get more knowledgeable on that. But what I'm really focusing on right now is really my real estate business. To get organized. Great. I feel like I need better time management with my business. So this one thing.
Awesome.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing everything you shared. Okay. Because when we bring people, they're always talking about, I'm already doing this. And a lot of them that we talk to, they're very successful. They're already doing very well. But they're already surpassed that time management thing. They already have a system and procedures in place. You mentioned earlier how important it is to have a mentor. And I can assure you they have that.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of
Yeah.
these people, that's the missing link. But sometimes we don't want mentorship because it's like having a coach, right? Come on, you could do 10 more. You're like, I'm done with 3. Okay. Like, I'm okay. I'll build up to that 10, but I'm done at 3 right now.
Yeah.
You know,
But
we don't.
Yeah, actually, sorry, I said I didn't have a mentor, but I was given a mentor when my first few deals in my first brokerage. But that mentor was like, she only works half days. Her goal for that year was eight transactions because she said she doesn't want to work too much. So I wish I would have gotten a better mentor who's like more
Pushy.
A little more
Yeah.
like getting.
And I don't want to say
getting after
pushy.
it.
Somebody that cares that they see your value, right? You know, even in sports, a coach that sees the value of who you are, they're going to get the best out of you. And they're going to know how to do that. They're going to know where your buttons are going to be pushed. And they're going to also know where, you know, they shouldn't push to keep you motivated. So how's that working out now? That because you did mention that you have now with your new brokerage, there is a mentor, right?
Actually, I hired a coach.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
So I'm doing
Good job.
coaching right
Great,
now
good for you.
to help me with accountability and hopefully being organized.
That is so
Well,
awesome.
no, and it will. I don't think that hopefully, you know, I hear that word, but I don't think that you're hopeful in anything that you've done. I know you use that word, but obviously, since we started the podcast, there's nothing hopeful for you. You just make things happen.
Yeah, it's more. It seems more like expectant.
Exactly.
I'm expectant that it's going to work. That's,
You know,
I think that's awesome.
And I'm glad that you're getting a coach, and it's not cheap. I know coaching because I've done it. It's not cheap. It's a commitment, you know. And so I'm happy for you that you're doing these. All these little things, what people don't understand is just that added layers of value that we're going to add to our clients.
Yeah.
You know, I know I speak from experience. I'm doing the ADUs. I'm going to do a ground up self-build. Instead of using a contractor, I want to go through the challenges and procedures of understanding so I could be a better, you know, consultant to when it comes to our military clients that want to buy a home and how do I convert a garage? Well, I want to have the answers,
Yeah.
right? Because that's what you always have is the answers to your clients when they're looking to purchase a home.
Yeah. So that's what I want. I like sharing too, like based on my experience, based on my other clients' experiences, you know, for the people that ask me, I share my experiences, and that's how I like educating.
So
is
you're here to
rad.
stay with real estate now? Like this is it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, end goal actually is, you know, from bigger pockets to is time freedom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
time freedom.
That's awesome, man.
And so for people who are watching this episode that want to reach out to you, if they have follow-up questions or they will have something that maybe is that they thought of when they finally watch this, you know, how is the best way for them to reach out to you?
Best way is actually to call or text me.
To call
on
or
my
text?
number, yeah.
Okay, to call or text you. We'll put that in the description box so you can
Yeah.
call or text Joahna.
And I also have my social media pages if they
Yeah.
want to stalk me.
Yeah, please. What is that?
Share it.
It's at Homes by Joahna, and Joahna is spelled Joahna.
There you go.
So we'll put all your social media links down here in the description box of this. And then, before we close though, is there any question that Will or I didn't ask that you wish we would have?
I guess, like, why am I really doing this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
Okay.
Yes,
All
time
right.
freedom, but also I'm doing this to take care of not just myself, but my family, my loved ones, and the people that I deeply care about.
Nice.
To be
That's
able
awesome.
to take care of them and be there for them.
You know,
Wow. I love
last
that.
question. Are you the first one in your family to buy a home here also in the United States or?
I'm the only one here in my family.
So
in
yes
the
and
States.
yes.
Well,
Wow.
I actually
Wow.
don't have relatives here.
wow.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Except for my husband. Yeah,
So
I'm
that's
not.
that. I mean, again, you're very inspiring, and I'm so grateful and thankful that you actually considered being here. I know this is something we're all not used to, but again, I asked you, Joahna, because I know you're so humble, you know. And again, sometimes it's good to take off that hat, but in your case, hey, you know what? I'm gonna brag about you because there's a lot to be bragged. You know, I love working with true professionals. I love working with people that hold their hearts in their sleeves. You know, and so I really love it, which gives me to a quote from Theodore Roosevelt, right? People don't care about how much you know. They care about how much you care.
Yeah.
You know, that's why it's one of my favorite quotes that I abide by, because I feel like we're so similar and we've been in contact. We barely had the privilege of meeting each other just like 3 weeks ago, face to face. But when we talked, it was like we knew each other for years.
Well, yeah, that's the funny thing is that you have known each other for years, and now you're in physical person contact, and then same thing with people watching the show. Like you see us on camera, and you see Joahna on camera, see our other guests, and it's like you can come and talk to us.
Yeah.
But this is how relationships are being forged a lot more now.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about this on a show back in January where we were discussing how the digital age is changing the way people do real estate and consume information and seek out education and look for authority. And they don't look for authority that's attached to a massive corporate name. So I know coming out of this episode, like there are going to be people that comment or want to reach out to you because they can talk to you about your firsthand experience in buying a triplex or even a duplex or fourplex if they want, but you've been there. And I think that is what is going to be so critically important about these shows is that you're going to talk to somebody who's been there and they can tell you their experience, what they should have done, what they would have done if they could go back and do it again. Yeah. And I know that you, especially with all these stories you've given us today, I know you'll be able to deliver it to the people.
Yeah.
So I'm going to thank you in advance right now for all the people that follow the airing of this show that are going to be helped and benefited from your firsthand experience and your humble nature. Thank you for being here to do that today.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're looking to buy a home in San Diego or anywhere else, you're PCSing, call Joahna. Send her a DM her like, hey, what do I do in this case? I'm thinking of flipping. I'm thinking of buying. I'm thinking of renting. You're so valuable.
Yeah.
So use that, especially being military. Help your fellow comrades, because I'll tell you, so many people don't know how to leverage their VA. Now you're here to help them with that. So again, I can't thank you enough, and I feel privileged to have you here.
My privilege. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Joahna, for being here.
Yes.
And thank you all for watching the Friends of Mortgage Heroes show. Remember to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and remember to share it with somebody if you heard something on this show that you know would benefit them or they would be helped by knowing the topic we talked about today. And if you are new to the channel, we have an entire playlist of Friends of Mortgage Heroes interviews with our friends in and around real estate who do a variety of industry jobs that will help you advance your aspirations in mortgage and real estate. We thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again next week.
See ya.